Turn to Mondelēz, as a matter of fact. Snack food company expressing confidence in the consumer this week at the annual Consumer Analyst Group Conference. I have to tell you, before we speak to them, the numbers were great. Okay, numbers are great, so we got to figure out how he's doing. Let's join us with more is Dirk Van de Put. And Dirk is just a seasoned pro, trading above his algorithm. Dirk, wow. I mean, everyone says that you shouldn't have been able to do this. What are you doing that makes it so you're triumphing over Mounjaro, Wegovy, GLP-1, Zepbound? I mean, what's going on here?
Thanks for remembering. It's Mondelēz. It's always a pleasure to be here. So we're doing the basics right, I think. We're building our brands, keep on reinvesting, driving distribution, doing marketing activities that connect to consumers, and the consumers loves our brands. Oreo, Milka, Toblerone, you name it. They're very connected, and people these days understand that they need to be careful the way they shop, but they don't want to pull back on snacking, particularly not on their biscuits and chocolate brands, and we're getting rewarded for that. So there's no magic formula. It's just doing the right thing and keep on supporting your brands. That's what we're doing.
Absolutely. So I want to, your brands are so loved that I found myself saying, does the president have a point here with these comments about shrinkflation and buying snacks? Because they actually, I mean, a lot of people tell me that GLP-1s can hurt willpower, but it doesn't seem like there's any willpower when it comes to eating your food, but there is a concern that the American public is tired of being played for suckers, said President Biden. Am I a sucker if I'm eating a lot of Toblerone?
No, absolutely not. I think since the pandemic, most consumers want a daily indulgence. They want to take some time for themselves. They want to feel good. And so taking time for that is considered much more acceptable than it was 4 or 5 years ago. About shrinkflation, consumers want to buy the product at the right price. And there are price points which are very important for consumers. And to keep those price points, we often reduce the pack. We don't touch the cookie, but we reduce the pack. And I think consumers are clever enough to know that that's happening, but with inflation that we've been seeing, there's no other ways than to keep these price points, which still makes it affordable for consumers to buy our products. It's not meant.
So you are saying that you are guilty of shrinkflation.
Well, I think that at certain stages we play around with our packs and we make them bigger or smaller. We've also launched bigger packs, because some consumers prefer to buy bigger packs where it's more affordable per cookie to buy. So we try to adapt the range of packs that we sell to the needs of the consumer.
Okay, well, I have here in my hands a report by Senator Bob Casey from Pennsylvania, a greedflation report, shrinkflation. He singles out none other than, yes, indeed, Oreos, and says that you have shrunk the family-sized packs of double-stuffed Oreos from 1 pound 4 ounces to 1 pound 2.71 ounces. Is that true, sir?
Yes, that is true. And like I was explaining, it's not meant to fool the consumer. It's just to keep the right price point. In today's inflationary environment, that's one of the ways we try to do that.
It's like watching Lee J. Cobb over here.
Yes, Lee J.
on a direct cross. Dirk, a lot of interesting presentations at CAGNY referring to market pressure in China, in Asia Pacific, in parts of the Middle East and Africa. Can you talk about where the pressure points are around the globe?
Yes, I think there's geopolitical pressures in the different areas of the world that you just mentioned. China, Russia, of course. There is the Middle East these days. And then there is consumer nervousness, or consumer being much more attentive to the way they buy, which you largely see in the developed markets like the US and Europe. And then we have to say that in emerging markets, consumers remain very optimistic about the future, and they keep on buying at a very good rate. So it's a mixture between consumers not feeling so great and being careful, and some geopolitical situations.
What is your thinking right now about corporate exposure in packaged food in Russia?
Well, since the beginning of the war, we have condemned the brutal aggression against the Ukraine. Unfortunately, in terms of operating in Russia, there is no simple solution, really. And so I want to be very clear. If we could solve the war by stopping our operation in Russia, we would do so. But I don't think it's as simple as that. And so we are faced with a complicated framework and trying to do what's right. I think our investors all understand how that works. We believe that the risk of continuing our operations is lower than exiting Russia, because our business could be put in the hands of a third party who could use it to the benefit of the war. And so we think continuing to operate locally, scaling back our operations, and making our business a standalone business that doesn't export to Europe, nor does it import from Europe, is the right way to go. And that's the course we're following at the moment.
Dirk, just before I let you go, I'm doing some work about whether Nelson Peltz would be a valuable board member for Disney. When he served at Mondelēz, did he do a good job for you?
Yes, he did. He did. I thought that he was a major contributor to our board, that he had the best interest in mind of the company. He pushes hard. So, yes, he comes up with ideas and he tries to challenge you as a CEO. But I always welcome his ideas, and I enjoyed a very good working relationship with him.